Hey everyone, if you're looking for fantasy football advice, look no further. Are you wondering who you should pick up off the waiver wire this week? Or maybe you just can't decide who you should start and sit this week.
Woo! Fantasy football playoffs are a week away, boys. Stay tuned. We got all the info you need to dominate your league.
Hey everyone, welcome to Encinas Unfiltered. We are informed, unfiltered, and unmatched. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. As a reminder, you can join our membership program through YouTube. We have a promotion going on to the end of the football season, so that's what, Super Bowl, February, around that time?
Yeah.
Where we have it for 99 cents. It's our Founders Edition, which will give you access to all tiers of our membership. And for 99 cents, you can get early access to shorts, you can get early access to our episodes, and you can get access to our Discord, which is very, important if you want to get one-on-one fantasy advice, if you want to chat with the boys, if you want to get some betting advice, if you're in a state that does betting. So go ahead and check that out. It's only 99 cents a month until February, and after that, that's going to be gone. Also, the holidays are upon us, which means it's time for merch. So if you're interested in some merch, let me know. I would like to get that order in ASAP with the holidays coming through. I know some people have been asking about some gift wrapping. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it this year. The company, I know we're having a hard time getting it, but if people are interested in seeing some filtered gift wrap, or maybe you're just interested in some sweaters with the weather being cold now, let us know. I am thinking about making some shirts. So it's going to be special edition and seeing some filter shirts, but it's going to be for the winners and the losers of your fantasy leagues. So I know ESPN.
Edition?
Yes, dude. Limited edition. I don't know if I'm going to make very many of them. Maybe like 10 to 50 is what I'm thinking max. So what I would like to do is create some sort of design, maybe with the community's help. So we'll have like a first place winner shirt, and then we'll do a last place shirt. The last place person is going to be probably the more fun shirt, whether, be the toilet bowl, people use unicorns, whatever it is you're going to do. Maybe you just put the Cleveland Browns on the t-shirt, same shit, right? So if you guys are interested in that, let me know, send me your ideas, and then I'll go ahead and sketch up that shirt up and we'll sell it, because why not, right? In today's episode, we got our week 13 recap. That's going to cover the NFL news, so the scores of the last week's games. And then we got our week 13 boomer bust, which we're always looking at our PPR format, which should be your normal standard or your new standard, or the standard, I should say. Nowadays, people who are not on PPR, you should really consider switching to that. Then we're going to go over our week 14 injury report, where X is going to tell you each position, which players are hurt. And then we're going to get to our week 14 buys. There are teams this week on a week 14 buy. This is the last bye week. They're going to get into some waiver wire pickups. Then we're going to do our week 14 start and sit, which is going to be quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, and defense. Then we have our new apology segment where X has a little surprise for us, allegedly. After that, we get our week 14 football bets. We're going to look at the money line, the over, under, and the spread. And at the very end, we're going to do our hot takes. And I know a lot of people just go ahead and skip to the hot takes. So you can do that down by clicking the timestamp and doing that on YouTube. One thing I didn't talk about, Fantasy Royale. Fantasy Royale is still going. Week 14, the $1,000 bounty is still alive, and no one has won. So go ahead and do that. The link is in our description. It's literally free. It takes 30 seconds. I literally run multiple emails. My wife runs one, I run one, and the show runs one. So go ahead and shoot your shot and try to win that $1,000 because it's free. Literally, it's absolutely free. So, all right, back with the scheduled programming here. All right, we got our NFL Week 13 recap. So some of the games I first want to talk about is some Thanksgiving football. Okay, mind you, I want to say this: Thanksgiving and Black Friday football, all four underdogs won. Wild. Was not expecting all four of those teams to win. We'll get into that. But first game of the week, we had our Thanksgiving game, Packers versus Lions. The Lions lost to the Packers 31-24, and Love threw 4 touchdowns. We haven't seen that in a hot minute from Jordan Love, so that was really impressive by him. The next game, we had the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. Not a lot of people thought that. I didn't think that. 31-28 to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's not very good. It's like 17% chance, I think, but you're still technically in it, and we'll talk about it a little bit later in the hot take section. Then Thursday night's game, we had Bengals versus Ravens, which, everyone's like, Lamar, he's going to figure it out. It's going to be fine. The Bengals defense sucks. No, the Bengals beat the Ravens 32-14 in another trash performance from Lamar. And I know X and I both have a lot to say about that in our hot take section. So if you're impatient and can't wait, go ahead and click that timestamp and go directly there. And then we're going to get into Black Friday football, where the Bears, surprisingly, did not see this happening, beat the Eagles 24-15 in Philly. They are now the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Look at that. Dude.
That's wild. My boy, shout out to my boy Enoch and Russ. Those boys have been Bears fans. I mean, I'm surprised there are Bear fans in general these days, but hey, kudos to you for sticking with your team. So then Sunday football, we had the Niners beat the Browns 26-8. I will say it was a pretty good game until like quarter three, and then that was kind of the end of it. The 49ers kind of figured it out. And the only
Yeah.
highlight I remember from the game is Brock Purdy hit the Dougie. So I'll give him that. White boy got motion. So
Yeah. I mean, Shedeur Sanders played great.
we'll talk about him in a little bit. Don't worry. We'll talk about him in a little bit. I mean, yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why people just don't believe me at this point. I don't know why I have to defend myself at all. Like I
we'll
almost
get
feel like I
into
just
it.
need to say it and not defend myself at all. I don't know.
I have in the hot take section. I think I have some things, some pointers to talk about. I will say, as a little spoiler, I still think he is playing better than Dylan Gabriel is, and he's throwing the ball a lot better. So I will give him that.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not glazing him. I'm just saying I think he's playing better than Dylan Gabriel, but that's not
fair.
really a surprise. Either way, though, their offense is not doing very well.
Yeah.
Next, the Jags whooped on the Titans 25-3. No surprises here. I mean, I thought
No,
maybe it'd be closer,
no.
divisional.
I thought
I don't know what's
maybe
going
you'd
on.
put up a little bit more of a fight, but no.
No.
A lot of
Jags
scuffles.
defense.
Lot of
Yeah,
scuffles,
well,
dude. Lot
divisional
of
game.
fights. Lot
Yeah.
of fights. Lot.
I mean,
of
I'd be
fights.
mad too if we were going to go back to back number one picks. I mean, goddamn, you got the quarterback too that you wanted, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Don't worry. All the
gonna
stuff
take
we got
time.
in the hot take section. Don't worry, we're
That's
saving
gonna
it.
take
We're
time.
saving it for the end.
Full rebuild.
The next game was the Texans beat the Colts 2016. Not that surprising, but not, because they get weird. The Texans get weird like that. It was a back and forth game, but the question I'm just implanting into the audience's mind is, should we start worrying about the Colts? So we'll talk about it in the hot take section, but I just want you to start thinking about it now. Should we start worrying about them? They lost 3 of their last 4 games, mind you. So next, the Dolphins beat the Saints 21-17. The Saints almost came back. I'll give them that. The Dolphins should have handily won this game, but Saints do weird things, and they almost came back, but Dolphins still got that dub. The Jets beat the Falcons 27-24 on the final play of the game. Nick Folk kicked a field goal. It's like, Falcons, what are we doing, bro? What are you guys doing? Like, oh, the Jets, who just traded everybody away, are winning? What? What is happening?
There's so
dude?
many problems with so many teams right now. It's wild.
It's embarrassing at this point. And then the Bucks beat the Cardinals 20-17, which I did think it was going to be a little close. Granted, I made my picks before we knew that Baker was going to play. But it was a very close back and forth game. The question I do want to leave in you guys' minds right now is, should we be worried about Baker with his AC joint sprain? Because he was very much a game manager in that game and was not chucking the ball like crazy. So keep that. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think we should start probably worrying about that situation. This is probably the parlay breaker, I like to call it, because all the boys were pretty upset. I was pretty upset Sunday. The Panthers beat the Rams 31-28. As a Niners fan, I'm happy, but as a parlay user, I'm not happy. Like, what are we doing here, dude?
So, for all you statistical nerds out there, none of this should be a surprise. We see this from Carolina, and as you know, I don't put all my eggs in the statistical basket, but Carolina does this every single year. They start the season like crap. Midway, you start to see little flashes and they seem like they're getting it together. They put up a little bit of a fight. End of the year, they go off. They go nuclear. They start beating everybody. And it sucks because Carolina fans, they get all hyped up like, oh yeah, we finally figured it out. The cycle repeats every time. It's like the Cowboys cycle, right? This is our year. Happens every time. It's like the Browns quarterback situation. It's a cycle every time.
Yeah, this game was, I call it the parlay breaker. I mean, I think a lot of the people probably bet on the Rams.
Oh yeah.
But the writing was on the wall. Even Bebo actually reached out and was like, I'm not surprised. Like, the Rams do this every year. Like, it's against a team that they should have beat.
If you're betting right now, either bet always for Carolina, or 2, any game that Carolina's playing, don't bet on, because you never know.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest wild cards in my opinion.
Yep.
The next game we had Seattle. They absolutely bullied the Vikings 26-0. Honestly, I feel bad for Justin Jefferson at this point. It doesn't really matter whose quarterback is. If it wasn't Andy Dalton, like, he wasn't really relevant this year. And it's not his fault. He's very talented. It's just really poor QB play at this point. And we'll talk about the Vikings here in a little bit on the hot take section, but
There was a comment made that it doesn't matter what kind of quarterback is back there with Justin Jefferson. He's going to make them look great.
really?
Yeah, I don't think that statement holds true
No.
at all.
Quarterbacks
At
matter.
all. At all. This is an old comment from way back when, beginning of the year. And that comment, yeah, not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterbacks matter, and this kind of just proves the point that if you don't have a quarterback, they're not going to be able to get you the ball. Look at Garrett Wilson, Justin Jefferson. Look at Jamar Chase without Joe Flacco. I mean, these are perfect examples of why that quarterback position is the most coveted and the highest paid, because without a good quarterback, your team is just not going to do well. Or at least a decent quarterback that could be a game manager. The next game we had is the Bills beat the Steelers 26-7. Rodgers got hurt again. He came back. I mean, the Bills won on the road. I'll give them that. Josh Allen didn't look good, though. I'll tell you that.
No.
So, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but either way, they won, and we'll see what happens with them moving forward. The Chargers beat the Raiders. No surprises there, 31-14, and the Raiders were officially eliminated from the playoffs. Surprising that they even had a chance still at that point, but officially eliminated, and good riddance. The Broncos beat the Commanders. You would think they would win by a lot, right? No, 27-26 in overtime. The Broncos, the number one ranked Broncos of the AFC.
You know, Mariota, dude. Mariota. He's good enough.
Broncos aren't looking good, man. And then the very last game, we had Monday Night Football, where the Patriots beat on the Giants 33-15. Honestly, it was pretty one-sided, that, like, from what I watched. And I think they were up 17-0 at one point in like the first quarter.
A certain kicker might no longer be employed in the NFL.
Yeah, poor young Hoku, dude.
Is what it is.
Yeah, bro. Kickers are a very volatile position in the NFL these days. Okay. Week 13, Boomer Bus, PPR format. QB Boom this week. Patrick Mahomes, 29.44 points. Jordan Love, 25.76 points. Marcus Mariota, 24.26 points. What? Threw like 50 times this week. And then Bryce Young, 22.54 points. Gotta love it. Two guys that we definitely did not think we'd see on that boom list.
Yeah.
Bust, Sam Darnold, 3.12 points. Granted, he just needed to hand off the ball at that point. Like, there wasn't really much to do. His defense was playing great. So, Tua, 5.68 points. Cam Ward, he's back. Who would have known? Who would have known? He's back. He had one week at the top, and he's 6.34 points.
Dude. He's throwing to rookies. Bro. He's throwing to rookies. Bad play calling too.
Yeah, well, you know who else is on this list? Do you know who else is on this list? Lamar Jackson, 7.54 points. Bro, tired of it. Oh, I'm so tired of it. All right, we're going to move on. Boom. Bijan Robinson. Oh, what do you know? The guy that Xavier says is going to be a bust. 30.3 points. RJ Harvey, 21.2 points. Swift, 20.8 points. And Vidal, 20.7. All right, you ready for some busts? We got Aaron Jones. He got hurt, granted. 4.5 points. Travis Etienne, 5.1. Tony Pollard and Isaiah Pacheco, 5.3. And Saquon Barkley, 5.6. Man, these big names are sure shit in the bed, aren't they? Well, talk about career resurgences. Receiver boom, A.J. Brown, 35.2 points. Rashee Rice, 29.4 points. That one hurts every week, knowing that this guy's scoring so many points, and I traded him away for Saquon Barkley. All right. Dontavian Wicks, 28 points, and Jamison Williams, 26.9 points. Okay, bust. This one's going to hurt X a lot because he has this boy in every league. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 0 points. Why? He got hurt. Does he play this week? Maybe. We don't know.
I hope not.
The boy's hurt.
Honestly, I hope not.
The boy's hurt. Next, Zay Flowers, my boy. I apologize now. I'm going to tell you right now so I don't do it later. I apologize. I'm not putting him back on my list again. 0.6 points. It's not 0 points, 0.6 points. Khalil Shakir, 1.5 points, and Michael Pittman, 2.3. All right, boom, tight end. Brock Bowers, 22.3. Trey McBride,
Typical.
22.2. Zach
Typical.
Ertz, 20.6.
That
And
dude
Travis
comes out of
Kelce,
nowhere.
15.5. What's that?
Zach Ertz, like, bro, some weeks he's garbage. He's like the Quinston Johnston of tight ends, dude.
I mean, he puts up more points than Quinton Johnson does. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just all about who's willing to, if they need that security blanket or not. And I think this week Mariota threw a weird 50 times that he's never going to throw again in his career. So he kind of benefited from that. Bust. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Gadsden, the Chargers tight end, 3.7 points. Dallas Goedert, 4.7. Dawson Knox, 5.8. And Colston Loveland, 5.8. Yeah, it's pretty rough for the boys, for us, and for everybody. Next, we got our Week 14 injury report, and X, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away. And this week, we're not going to include it out for the season. We're just going to do the positional players.
Yep. So, quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, Commander, still with that elbow injury. Justin Herbert with the Chargers, that hand, that's going to be interesting. Got to monitor that one. He did have surgery, went well from what we hear, is said to be day to day. JJ McCarthy, Vikings on a concussion. That
He's supposed to be
horrible to
week.
happen, but yet, might be good for the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers, Steelers, got the wrist, nose. That boy just messed up. Sam Darnold, Seahawks, ankle injury. That's unfortunate. Running backs, Kyron Williams, ankle injury. Amarian Hampton for the Chargers, ankle injury, might be coming back. Trey Benson for the Cardinals, knee injury. Aaron Jones Sr. for the Vikings, shoulder injury. Good for you, Mason owners who I traded away. Alvin Kamara from the Saints, knee injury. Dylan Sampson of the Browns, calf injury. Braylon Allen of the Jets, knee injury. And Dermacado from the Cardinals, ankle injury. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions with the ankle injury. No. Oh, still hurts me to just say it out loud. Makes it real. T. Higgins of the Bengals, concussion. That sucks. Marvin Harrison Jr., Cardinals, heel.
So I just want to point out that's a new one. So he had appendicitis for the last 2 weeks.
Dude,
went to the game, got hurt.
This boy? He's got to be the most unluckiest person in the world right now. Man, that sucks. Matthew Golden of the Packers, wrist injury. Josh Palmer of the Bills, ankle injury. Parker Washington of the Jaguars, a hip injury. Khalif Raymond of the Lions, ankle injury. That one's interesting because Amon-Ra's out. So
Jameson Williams time, bro.
Jameson Williams and maybe Tesla. a little unknown boy coming out. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Tight ends, Dalton Kincaid, Bills, hamstring injury. Brock Wright of the Lions, neck injury. Michael Mayer, the Raiders, ankle injury. And Higbee of the Rams, ankle going on that IR.
That is unfortunate for him. And then our buys this week, we have the Panthers, the Patriots, the Giants, and the 49ers.
You know what? Actually, which is crazy because these bye weeks have hurt so many people. It's wild, especially in the running back position, because there are many teams that have the old Rico Dowdle and McCaffrey combo. So that's a rough
or Travion Henderson. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Kittle, people who just got back Brock's gone now this week. A lot of people held on to him. Next, we got our waiver wire pickups. So there's only 4 each position. Obviously, there's other players like Tesla. The X and I were actually chatting about this. It's been cut at this point, but Tesla's another guy you could probably put on the list. However, I'm looking at why I'm picking up some of these guys in this order, and I'll kind of explain that throughout this. So Jacoby Brissett, he's my number 1 quarterback pickup if available. The reason is because he's been throwing a lot. They're playing behind in games. There's not really a real reason. Like, they're not holding him back. They're probably out of the playoffs. I think they are eliminated. But he's throwing a lot. They're playing from behind. I think it's just a good matchup no matter what, because he's slinging the ball. And he's been putting up consistent 18 to 20 something points every week. So can't go wrong there. Sam Darnold's another guy on my list. I know this hurts because he was the worst quarterback last week in fantasy football, But if they're playing a team where he's going to need to throw like a competitive game, you're going to want to start him, especially for the bye week fill-ins. I think this week he's playing like the Falcons or something, so you might be okay. But he's a matchup based player that he's matchup based. I just think he's a good quarterback and he slings the ball and he's actually getting the ball to JSN. Obviously, if they're up by a lot and their defense is playing good, then it's going to suck for you. The next guy I have is Bryce Young, and the reason why I have him on this list is because he's been actually balling out the last 3 weeks, and I think that this team is starting to realize that they just need to sling the ball in order to be competitive. They're trying to win that NFC South, and if they're going to do that, they got to sling that ball. And they're, Baker's a game ahead. The Bucks and Baker Mayfield are a game ahead, so they're going to do everything in their power to try to catch up and win that division for a shot at playoffs. Then you got Marcus Mariota. There's a rumor that Jaden might be coming back, but as of filming, we don't know quite yet if he's coming back yet. So if he's not, Mariota's been a very good replacement and he's been consistent. So I would feel comfortable picking up, especially with a bye week fill in for this week. All right, a running back. Um, I always mess up his name, but Kyle, the Bears running back, he's been getting a lot of touchdowns. He's touchdown every week. He's getting as much carries as DeAndre Swift, and they're trusting him a lot. I think you can start both those guys this week, and if he's not picked up, you should start him. Next is Zonovan Knight. He scored a touchdown last week for the Cardinals. He's the number one guy there. I know it's like a weird committee, but if you need a bye week fill in, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Grab him and start him. Next is Devin Neal. He's a rookie for the Saints. And we don't know if Kamara's going to play or not. And if Kamara is not, he did pretty well last week. So I think you can confidently start him again. And the last guy is Emmanuel Wilson. So Emmanuel Wilson's now in the backup role, but because Josh Jacobs is hurt already, you absolutely want to stash him or handcuff him because we've already seen that he can go in there and absolutely ball out and do very well and put up very similar points as Josh Jacobs. So if you're in a position where you have an open slot, hey, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and grab him and use him if needed if Josh Jacobs has to sit out another game. Next at receiver, we have Michael Wilson. So Michael Wilson is the number 2 receiver for the Cardinals, but Marvin Harrison Jr. got hurt, and while Marvin Jr. was out with his appendicitis, Michael Wilson absolutely exploded like 2 weeks in a row. So now that Marvin Harrison got hurt with a heel injury, we're going to expect the same thing, especially with Jacoby Brissett throwing the ball a lot. So that's why he's my number 1 waiver wire pickup if available. Next, you got Christian Watson. So Christian Watson is the consensus number 1 receiver currently on the Packers. That's with Matthew Golden being hurt and being a rookie, and with Jaden Reed still out. Jordan Love and Christian Watson, that chemistry is just kind of hitting the spot right now, especially with Tucker Kraft out, and he's fighting Christian Watson. So I think that's the guy that you want to target, and you can probably put in your flex spot. The next guy is Adonai Mitchell. So you guys might know him as the guy that dropped the ball before the end zone and got a fumble, and then he got traded from the Colts. That's the same guy, but he has a high snap share in the high 90%. So he's playing 90% of the game snaps at the receiver position. The Jets are out of the playoffs. They're just using whoever they can at this point while they're deciding to get this ball. I know Mechie was last week a guy that I mentioned. So 1.3 million people have already picked up Mitchell. So if you need a flex spot fill in for this week, that might not be a bad pickup, especially in your deeper leagues. And then you got Jaden Higgins. I've talked about him every week the last couple weeks. He's a rookie. He's a tall receiver. Kind of reminds me like Mike Evans. I mean, I know that's a big, broad comparison to, a great to compare him to, but he's very good, has great hands, and it's just whether or not CJ can get into the ball. But I like him a lot, and he might be one of those sneaky guys that you could play in later in the playoffs if you're making playoffs. And I for sure would start him based on matchup. Next, we got tight ends. Zach Ertz, my number 1 guy. Why? X said it too. He's so volatile. He's so up and down. Why are you going to grab Zach Ertz? It's like, well, he's a security blanket at this point. Jane Daniels loves him, so Jane Daniels comes back. You're going to start him. And if not, Marcus Mariota has started establishing that repertoire with him. So because of that, I like that big game that he had. I think you just start Zach Ertz and grab him. And it's a bye week fill-in anyways. That's really why you're grabbing these guys. So as a bye week fill-in, you're not really going to go wrong, especially if George Kittle is out this week and some of the other guys like Hunter Henry might not be a bad pickup. Or you got Brenton Strange from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's playing the Colts, so I know the Colts kind of seems like a scary matchup, but the Colts are actually one of the worst defenses against the tight end this year. So because of that, Brenton Strange might not be a bad pickup. He gets getting a lot of targets and a lot of looks from Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence is kind of thrown to 2 guys right now. It's Brenton Strange or Jacoby Myers. So because of that, I would feel comfortable picking him up. Hunter Henry is also on my list, and it's not necessarily because of this week, because he's not playing this week. He's on bye. But it's so that later on down the stretch, Drake May is starting to get him the ball a bit. And I think he was the number 1 receiver for their team last night as far as receptions. So with that being said, it might be a good guy to start on a matchup base. or based on the matchup, it might be a guy to start, especially if you don't have a higher end tight end. And then Theo Johnson, he's the tight end for the Giants. Jackson Dart's back. I know they kind of got crushed last night against the Patriots, but Theo Johnson is Jackson Dart's favorite red zone target. So because of that, I think you can confidently start them. I don't see any reason why Jackson Dart will not play the rest of the season, even though they're eliminated. I think he needs those reps. So look for those guys. At defense, we got Seattle Seahawks, we got Denver Broncos, we got Cleveland Browns, and we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Seattle's playing against Atlanta, Denver's playing against Vegas, Cleveland's playing against Tennessee. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And then Tampa Bay is playing New Orleans. So that's why those are the 4 defenses that you're going to target this week, especially if you do the strategy where you just pick up a new defense every week, because there's people that do that. Same with tight ends. So consider these options. Bye weeks, we got Carolina. I already talked about it, but we got Carolina, New England Patriots, New York Giants, and San Francisco 49ers. All right. Next, we got our starts and sits at each position. So starting at quarterback, I got Jared Goff versus Dallas, and I got Matthew Stafford at Arizona. You know, Dallas's defense has improved. I will give him that with the addition of Quinnen Williams. However, Jared Goff is going to have to throw the ball, whether it's dump off passes to David Montgomery, whether it's dump off passes to Jahmyr Gibbs, or whether it's finding Jameson Williams downfield with Amon-Ra being out. Amon-Ra plays, that's even going to more benefit Jared Goff in the starting position. But Dallas's defense, their weakness is in their secondary. It's not necessarily in their front line currently. So because of that, I think Jared Goff is going to have to toss that ball to remain competitive with that high-powered offense. So look for this to be a big, high-scoring back-and-forth game. And then Matthew Stafford at Arizona. This is a weird one. I will give you this. Arizona can be weird, especially when it comes to the Rams. Arizona can sometimes get up and win. I just think they're too hurt and too depleted at this point. They have James Conner out. They have Marvin Harrison Jr. out. Some of their defensive players are out too. They don't have Kyler Murray no more. They're playing with Jacoby Brissett. So because of that, Matthew Stafford has been one of the top quarterbacks every week. Last week, he kind of had a down week with 2 interceptions, but I think you can confidently start him knowing that he's going to absolutely sling the ball, especially if Kyron Williams is hurt. Sitting, you're going to sit Justin Herbert versus Philadelphia. And honestly, this is not even just because he got hurt in his hand. I think he actually will play this week. Just Philadelphia has a good defense, and I just don't trust that Chargers team completely. They're a really good run offense team. And because of that, I think Philly is just going to really lock them down, and it's going to be not a good day for Herbert. And then you're going to sit Lamar Jackson versus Pittsburgh. And I mean, I think at this point, it's not a surprise. We've been talking about it. We're going to talk about it again later. I have Lamar Jackson in my leagues, but I don't really have a choice. I literally just went all in or out on Lamar Jackson this year and didn't grab another quarterback. So at this point, I'm just risking it because it doesn't matter anymore. There's no other quarterbacks available for me. You know, Brissett's gone, and all these other guys that I'm mentioning are not even they're all rostered at this point. So, sorry to go off on a tangent, but you're going to sit Lamar Jackson. He's playing against Pittsburgh. It's a divisional game. It's weird, man. Until Lamar Jackson can prove to you that he can be an every week starter again, you just don't want to start him. And this might be the week that he does it. But if you're on the ride of risking playoffs, if you're, you know, in a league where you win money for having a high score, you know, I don't think you trust him at all this week. He hasn't been quite the same since his hamstring injury. So those are just some things to think about. X, you got starting at quarterback this week.
Starting at quarterback, I actually got the boy Tyrod Taylor going against Miami. Hate it all you want. Tyrod Taylor has been having a nice little stretch here. And to be honest, when I saw the matchup, I had to debate between Tua and Tyrod. I kind of like what Taylor's doing, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Mechie's coming to his own. Man, I'm blanking on the name. Adani is coming on his own as well. Breece Hall is doing little Breece Hall things. So Tyrod Taylor, I think, has a great matchup. Miami doesn't really have, sometimes they come to play, sometimes they don't. And even when they come to play, their defense still gives up big points. So I would feel confident in starting Tyrod Taylor this week. Next, I got Bo Nix going against Las Vegas. It's the Raiders. I don't really need to go any farther than that. Sitting, you're going to sit Daniel Jones against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is coming off really hot right now. And last week, especially talking to my Colts #1 fan, he said that leg fracture that Daniel Jones has is affecting him. He looks slow in the pocket. He's throwing awkward. It just doesn't seem right. So right now, Daniel Jones is not somebody you want to feel confident with at all. I know some people were riding high on him kind of early on in the season, but shouldn't really be looking at him from this point on. Next, I'm sitting Jordan Love against Chicago. Chicago has a really good defense. Green Bay still, to me, is not reliable enough, especially for some of us who are making that last little playoff push. Jordan Love is not somebody you should be feeling confident in starting right now with a questionable matchup, questionable offensive usage. I mean, it's just weird all around, and we're not taking chances this late.
Next, we're going to get into our running backs. So starting at running back, I got Chase Brown at Buffalo. Chase Brown had a really slow start this year, but coming down the stretch here, he's been doing very well. Buffalo is good at home. I will give you that. I don't know if it's snowing quite yet. So, don't quote me. I haven't looked at the weather. I'm not a meteorologist. I can't predict these things. The game's,
Mhm.
almost a week away at this point.
Yeah.
But Chase Brown should do pretty good with Joe Burrow coming back. The teams are going to be very wary of that pass. So that gives Chase Brown a lot of more opportunities to do well. Then you're going to start Bucky Irving at New Orleans. It's a divisional game. Must win for Tampa. Tampa Bay is trying to make sure that Carolina doesn't win the division or go to the playoffs. Bucky looked really good last week. He was going to be on the snap count. I think he surpassed that snap count. So I think you can pretty confidently start him and not really have any issues or worries about him being in your lineups. Then you're going to sit Ashton Genty versus Denver. Genty has proven us wrong. He has also proven us right. He's kind of back and forth on this year, and honestly, it's all because of his offensive line. Denver's defense is good. I will give him that. Even without Patrick Surtain, they're still very good. I just don't like that matchup. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I don't think that benefits Ashton Genty. And then you're going to sit Travis Etienne versus Indianapolis. Etienne last week didn't do well. I believe we called that last week, and with the Colts matchup, their line is also pretty good. I just think he's going to have a tough go at it, and it's going to be a low-scoring, grimy game. And I don't know. I just really have a bad feeling about that game as far as starting him with the playoffs looming next week.
Yeah.
Actually, you got starting running back this week.
Starting at running back, I got Judkins going against Tennessee. The reason why Tennessee has a really good defensive line, Jeffrey Simmons is having a hell of a year. However, I think how Shedeur Sanders is not going to be lighting up Tennessee's secondary by any means.
Who
So I
might?
think no. So Judkins is going to have a lot of usage. I think what they're going to do is a lot of passes out the backfield, screens, things of those nature. Get him away from Jeffrey Simmons, and he should be able to tear apart that defense for the most part. But there'll be a lot of usage because I don't think the Browns are going to take some wild, crazy, giant lead over Tennessee. Next, I got Swift going against Green Bay. Green Bay, like I said, their offensive woes are just really bad. Swift is really coming on this year, so I don't see a reason of why Swift shouldn't be able to do what he needs to do. Green Bay does have a really nice defense. I like their line a lot, but I don't. It's not going to be anything crazy to where Swift's usage is low enough to where he won't be relevant. So I think that's a good start there. Sitting, you're going to sit Derrick Henry against Pittsburgh.
Ooh,
Yeah, it hurts me. It pains me to say it, but
he's the offense though.
I know. Well, they're starting to now figure that out. But the problem is, though, is they want to get Lamar started. And you can see it when they play. They are trying to get Lamar to get back into form. And you are even sitting Lamar. At this point, the Ravens offense just can't be trusted. And if you're trying to make that playoff push, you can't trust it right now. You need something a little bit more secure at this point. Next, I got Saquon going against the Chargers. Philly is not as bad of a spot as the Ravens are, but they are in a bad spot. People are trying to fire, the offensive coordinator for uh, for the Eagles. There's a lot of offensive coordinators that need to be fired. Like, I don't know why we're just singling out on just him. It's kind of weird to me. He should be fired. but like I said, a lot of others should be. Like there should be a lot more focus on offensive coordinators than just him. And so Saquon is unfortunately falling in that same category as Derrick Henry, where yes, they should be the team, but unfortunately, Seattle has a bunch of divas and a bunch of people that complain and whine to the media. So easier to appease them than the quiet ones.
All right. Next, we're going to get into our receivers. So, starting at receiver this week, I got Jamison Williams versus Dallas. I kind of talked about him earlier on the show. But with Amon-Ra being out or possibly being out, I think there's going to be a lot more opportunity for Jamison Williams this week. Like I said, Dallas's issue right now is their secondary. It's not necessarily their line. Their line got upgraded with Quentin Williams. So, I think Jared Goff is going to be looking at those receivers to step up. And if they want to keep up with the Dallas offense, because the Lions defense has been exposed, especially this past week. So look for Jared Goff to expose that defense, the secondary of Dallas, and to try to keep up with that Dallas offense. It's going to be a very high scoring game, in my opinion. And then you're going to start Devontae Adams at Arizona. Devontae Adams has had a touchdown almost every week at this point. I think he's the leader in touchdowns and receiving touchdowns this year. Puka's still getting his targets. Puka's still getting his looks.
20
Obviously, they're
plus.
both, yeah, they're still both definitely starters. But as far as like your receiver two, you're looking at Devontae, and I think he's a pretty good starter this week, especially with a very favorable matchup. Sitting, and honestly, I think you should sit this guy here on out, as you're sitting Justin Jefferson versus Washington. It's a good
Yeah.
matchup. JJ McCarthy, you can't trust him. Max Bosmer couldn't even put up 100 yards last week, so he's not playing again. It's they're this just Vikings are just having a really bad year right now. Aaron Jones is hurt, so they're gonna just run it with Jordan Mason, and what's gonna happen? They're just gonna stop the run because they know what you're gonna do. So unfortunately for him, it's just in a bad situation this year. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but I wonder if he asked to be traded or cut. Not cut. He'd probably be traded. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? If he really wants
I
to
don't
go,
know.
I don't see why he can't ask. Because I don't think they're going to be competitive here for the next couple years, and they need to get another quarterback. JJ is not the answer, I think, at this point. Also, you're going to sit Zay Flowers versus Pittsburgh. You're going to hear my little what's the word I'm looking for? Like a trend going on with the Ravens. We really don't like the Ravens this week. Zay Flowers, everyone grabbed him probably with Lamar Jackson to have that receiver combo, the receiver duo and quarterback duo, or quarterback receiver duo. It has not panned out. It panned out week one, and that was literally it. And so, I apologize again for telling you to start him. I will not be telling you to start him. I am now telling you to sit him. So, X, so you got starting receiver this week.
Starting at receiver, I got the boy Scary Terry going against Minnesota. Thought I'd never say it, but
Mm.
McLaurin did what he needed to do. Put up a nice 20. Minnesota, like you said, just it doesn't know what to do. So I think the Commanders are going to have a lot of opportunities. I don't see Minnesota really putting up much of a fight, and if they do, then I mean, only helps Scary Terry even more. I would feel comfortable starting him. We can finally feel a little bit of faith in him. I'm not saying put all your eggs in the basket, but you could probably feel a little safe going against that. Next, you're going to start Alec Pierce against Jacksonville. Uh, Pierce is probably a guy that's still on waivers for the most part. I think I saw something saying that he was like 46% on a roster. So he's available. So feel free to pick him up. He's that solid little bit that's going to be able to take you through what you need to get through. With Amon-Ra being out, Alec Pierce probably a good streaming option, probably something to put in the flex, worst case scenario. But he should have. There's no reason of why he shouldn't be able to produce points even against Jacksonville. So sitting at wide receiver, you're going to sit Rashee Rice going against Houston. Houston has the number one defense, and Stingley, that corner, he is a lockdown. Lockdown Smith Njigba, lockdown Justin Jefferson. Regardless of it, Stingley still deserves his props. So I don't feel confident with you guys playing Rice against Houston. If they use him, they might motion him, move him around a little bit. That would be the only way that I could see him being useful. But even then, that's limited to Houston's really good defense. You're also going to sit Mooney going against Seattle. Mooney has not produced. Mooney has not done what he needs to do. Atlanta is a bit of a mess. Kirk Cousins doesn't know what he wants to do. There's just way too much going on. They're leaning on Bijan way too much for you to feel confident to start any wide receiver from Atlanta. They're just playing anybody and anything. They're probably grabbing people out of the crowd to even play. So you never know what to do. Don't feel confident starting that dude. You should probably just wait till London comes back. He might bring a little bit of value back.
All right. Starting at tight end, I got Zach Ertz at Minnesota. Why am I starting Zach Ertz after we just said he's back and forth, up and down? Well, because targets matter. This past week, he had 13 targets, I believe, for 10 catches and 106 yards. So I feel very good about that going in and having that momentum. So even if Jaden Daniels comes, Jaden Daniels likes to throw to him. So I think we're going to be okay either way there. And Minnesota's just not playing very good. Their defense is good, but I think he'll have plenty of opportunities. And they're going to start Jawan Johnson at Tampa Bay. It's a divisional game. These teams really get up to play each other, and Jawan Johnson's been, if anything, he's been consistent. I'll give him that. You want a consistent tight end, especially with like George Kittle and Hunter Henry being on a bye week this week. If you need to slap him in, Jawan Johnson might not be a bad guy to start either. Sitting, you're going to see the trend here. You're sitting Mark Andrews versus Pittsburgh. We're beating the dead horse at this point. Don't start any Ravens players until they can prove something otherwise. It is a very risky game. I do not trust it by any means. And then you're going to sit Kyle Pitts. So even though Kyle Pitts had a pretty good week last week, Seattle's defense is a whole nother monster. It's just their defense is honestly what's put them in a number 5 seed right now in the NFC.
Yeah.
It's not really their offense because their running game has been terrible. But their defense is high end. I don't trust it. Kyle Pitts has had one good game here, one good game there, and he's absolutely fallen off. And like X said, you can't trust Kirk Cousins, so why even play him? It's not worth the risk, especially if you're fighting for that last playoff spot. Don't risk it for the biscuit. X, you starting at tight end this week?
Starting at tight end, I got the boy Darren Waller going against the New York Jets. Darren Waller's back. He's getting a lot of targets, getting good stuff. I expect him to start vamping this up as long as Tua has some time to do anything, which I think he should. Jets don't, they traded away their whole team, but we saw what they could do last time. But Darren Waller is Tua's safety net. So feel confident starting him. I think he's going to get back into what Darren Waller does. Next, you're going to start the boy Gadsden. I know he had a bad game. He's going against Philly, but with the Chargers' woes of injuries, I feel like Gadsden is going to be a good safety net, and I feel like Gadsden is going that offensive coordinator is going to put him in positions going against that Philly defense to where even if it's not Herbert back there, they're just going to put Gadsden as that relief, just tell the quarterback, whoever it may be, hey, just dump it off to him if the play breaks down. So I feel confident with him. I don't think Gadsden's going to be putting out deep routes or anything crazy like that, but I think he will get you the 10 points that you need. Sitting at tight end, you're going to sit Strange going against Indianapolis. Indianapolis does have holes in their defense, and especially when it comes second quarter. However, tight ends going against Indianapolis, it's possible for them to do well, but majority of the time, the wide receivers end up getting open coming that second half. So I feel like Strange isn't going to, he's going to have the opportunities, but he's not going to get the targets that you're going to be looking for come that second half. You're going to have guys way far down the field, and they're going to get those opportunities more than he is. You're also going to sit Travis Kelce going against Houston. Once again, Houston, number 1 defense. There's no reason of why Houston shouldn't be able to lock the Chiefs down for the most part. Obviously, you're going to have your little plays, but I'm not expecting Kelce to do a whole lot.
All right, starting at defense, I got Seattle and Atlanta. I kind of talked about it during my waiver wire segment, and maybe like a minute ago, Seattle's defense is very good this year, and Atlanta's offense is really bad. It's just a no-brainer. And then you're going to start Denver at Las Vegas. It's a divisional game. I get it. Things can get weird, but in my opinion, Denver is the best team in the league. I think their defense is great and their offense is kind of boo-boo. But Vegas has shown that even the worst teams can beat them, like the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders. So I have every reason to believe that Denver can get the win, and I think that they'll play good. So I think you're going to start their defense this week. Sitting, so might be a little controversial, maybe a little hot. Houston is the number 1 defense, correct? fantasy, possibly. I don't know
Yeah,
if they're the normal fantasy defense, but they're pretty good. I put them up
they're
there
good.
for sure. Top three, top three. They're playing against the Chiefs. The Chiefs get weird when playoffs matter. They still got a shot. I don't trust it. When you're trying to fight for that playoff spot or you're trying to fight for the high score to win money in your league, do not start this team. I just think it's too much. You're risking too much. So I think there's better options like Seattle, like Denver. So I would look at those other places. And then you're going to sit Dallas this week at Detroit. It's nothing against Dallas because Dallas' defense is playing a lot better. I will be the first to admit when they're playing good. Their secondary sucks. And because of that, Jared Goff is going to have a field day and he's going to be chucking that ball. There's either going to be a yada yak or Jameson Williams is going to get bombs thrown to him in the end zone. Something's going to happen. So I just don't trust it this week. And that's all I got. X, who you got starting at defense this week?
Starting at defense, I got Tampa Bay going against New Orleans. If I'm telling you now, you should have already done this last week, but I'm going to tell you for the people who forgot. Right now at defenses, you should be looking at playoff schedule. Tampa Bay has the best, the number one. I was doing this last week and the week before. So I was ahead of the curve. Now you know you should be doing this at this time. You should have already done it last week, but you should be doing it now for sure. Tampa Bay has one of the best schedules going on forward through playoffs. So I like Tampa Bay going against New Orleans. New Orleans would kind of beating a dead horse there. They're a little weird on what they're trying to do. Sometimes they come to play, sometimes they don't. And Tampa Bay is getting revamped. All their injuries, everybody's coming back. We should be good. We should see the Tampa Bay team that we know and love. Next, you're going to start Buffalo against Cincinnati. Joe Burrow might be back. Chase Brown turning it on. That offense, they're starting to feel good about it. But Buffalo coming in, they're getting ready for playoffs. Josh Allen loves to burn out the clock. I feel like you could be confident in starting Buffalo's defense against Cincinnati. Buffalo will churn out that clock. James Cook's doing well. Josh Allen still scrambles. You know, they're not on and off the field real quick. So I feel comfortable saying that you could start them and feel okay with it. Sitting, you're going to sit the Chargers against Philadelphia for the obvious reasons. It's too much of a gamble right now to where I'm not feeling confident in what the Chargers could do with a lot of their injuries. Next, you're also sitting Indianapolis going against Jacksonville. Division game. Jacksonville looked good, you know, beating up on a poor little Titans team, but, you know, they're riding high. Colts aren't looking all that great right now. So there's as much as it should be. Don't start the Colts this week. Next, we'll be getting into our apology segment. As you know, this is our fun segment where we get to tell you we're sorry for telling you to start or sit certain players, certain defenses, whatever the case may be. And they ended up kind of doing well or bad or whatever the case may be. So this is a new segment. Please feel free, go down in the comments, give us some suggestions, whatever it might be, help us better what it is we're trying to do here. So I'll start it off. I want to apologize for telling you to start Tua. He got 5 points going against New Orleans. I didn't expect that. I really thought he had a good matchup. I didn't see why he couldn't do better, but didn't play out that way. So that one's on me. Next, I apologize. I told you to sit Singletary, got 19 points against New England. That was crazy. Tracy did get injured, so that did add a little bit of value to him. But regardless of that, you know, got to account for those things, right, boys? So I'll be a man about it. I'll take the loss there. Next, I'll apologize. I told you guys to sit Judkins. He got 15 points going against San Francisco. I thought he wasn't going to really do a whole lot. San Francisco's line, pretty good for the most part. But Judkins did what Judkins does. So is what it is there. Next, I apologize. Told you to sit Kittle. Boy got 10 points going against Cleveland. That's good for a tight end. So can't knock that one. That might have made or break you. So I apologize on that one. Next, I apologize because I told you to sit Minnesota's defense. They got 11 points against Seattle. Who would have saw that coming? But Seattle's defense saved them. Minnesota's defense was having a good game. So I apologize for that one.
It's wild that they did well considering they lost 26-0, but
Dude,
good
how
old fantasy
how
for you.
as a defense do you get 26 points scored on you, but you still got 11 points?
Sacks,
Oh,
interceptions, forced fumbles, yeah, there's all
crazy,
kinds of
dude.
stuff.
Absolute
Um,
insanity.
so I'm gonna do my apologies a little different this week. I think it's just gonna kind of make it faster for my end because there is a bit. I'm gonna just tell you the bad beats that I had, and at the very end, I'm gonna apologize to you, the audience. So this last past week, I told you to sit Brock Purdy. He scored 17 versus Cleveland. I told you to sit Daniel Jones. He scored 16 versus Houston. I told you to sit Javonte Williams. So he scored 17 points against Kansas City. This is a big one. I told you to start Zay Flowers. He put up 0.6 points versus Cincinnati. That one was pretty bad. I told you to sit Jalen Warren. He scored 11 versus Houston. I told you to sit Kyle Pitts. He scored 15 versus New York Jets. He was on our boom list this week. Then I told you to start Los Angeles Rams defense. Granted, I think anybody would have done that. And they started against Carolina. He only
It's a
put up
good
2
matchup.
points.
It's a good matchup.
And I told you to sit Carolina's defense, and they put up 14 against the Rams.
What?
So I had some pretty bad beats. I apologize for that. From here on out, I will not be telling you to start Zay Flowers or Lamar or anybody else until they can prove me differently. I kind of said that a couple times throughout the show, so I apologize for that. And yeah, that's all I got.
So, next, small little tidbit that I decided to add in here was I want to do a shout out of a solid pick that the boy Rod made. Rod told you to start Seattle's defense. Those boys put up 32 against
God
Minnesota.
damn.
That is a solid pick right there, boys. So shout out to the boy Rod for a great pick right there. Whew, that probably won some boys big games. So
My
shout out to you,
Venmo
Rod.
and my PayPal will all be in the link in the description. You can send me some of your winnings. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a
Next, we got our Week 14 football bets. So we're looking at each game. We're looking at the money line, the over, under, and the spread. So starting with Thursday Night Football, we got Dallas versus Detroit. Detroit's favored by 3 at home. Ooh, I don't know. My heart says Detroit, but my head says Dallas. So I think I'm going to take Dallas at +3. The total's 53.5. I'm going over on that. Picking Dallas to win.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas, but I'm definitely gonna go under.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Next game, we got Cincinnati Bengals versus the Bills. The Bills are favored by 6. The total's 51.5. I'm also going over on this just because I think as weather permits, as long as there's no snow or anything, which I don't think there is, I think it'll be a pretty high scoring game. 2 good explosive offenses. I'm going to take Bills at -6 at home though, just because they play very well at home.
Yes, I agree. Bills under.
All right, next game, we got Tennessee Titans versus the Browns. The Browns are favored by 4.5. I would actually take the alternate point spread at -2.5, but I do think Cleveland wins. The total's 33.5. I'm going to go under on that.
I'm gonna actually take the Titans on this one. I will go under.
Next game, we got the Saints versus the Bucks. The Bucks are favored by -8.5 points. No, thank you. Can't trust it. I'm taking -2.5 on the alternate spread for the Bucks on that one. I think Bucks will win. The total's 42.5. I'm going under on that just because of Baker's AC joint sprain.
Yeah, actually, I agree.
All right. Let's keep moving. Next game, we got Colts versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts are favored by -1.5. Nope. I'm taking Jacksonville at +1.5 on this one. The total's 48.5. I'm taking the under on that.
I agree.
Next game, we got Miami favored by 2.5 versus the Jets. The total's 41.5. Ooh, I'm going to take under on that. I don't trust that, but I do think I like Miami at -2.5, though.
I agree.
Next game, we got Steelers versus Ravens. Ravens are favored by -5.5. The total's 43.5. Ooh. I'm going to take the Steelers at +5.5. Taking the Steelers on this one, I'm going to go under on the total. Lamar can't convince, unless he convinces me, I can't take him.
Yep, I agree with you.
All right, next game, we got the Seahawks versus the Falcons. The total's 43.5. I think you can comfortably take that 7.5 spread, and I think you can take I'll take the under on that just because I don't know if Atlanta can get the offense going.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next game, we got Commanders versus Vikings. Commanders are only favored by -1.5. Ooh, you know what? I'm actually going to take the Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders on this one. And the total's 41.5. I'm going to go under because JJ's under center for the Vikings. And Aaron Jones is hurt.
I agree.
All right, next game, we got the Broncos favored by 7.5 versus the Raiders. Nope, I'm taking Broncos at alternate point spread of -2.5 because all their games are very close. Honestly, I wouldn't even bet the spread if I were you, but I do think the Broncos win. Total 40.5. I'm going under.
Yep, I agree.
Next game, ooh, this is our thumbnail, boys and girls. We got the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Fat Packers. The Packers are favored by 6.5 points. So I was going to talk about it in our hot take section, but I should let it be known, okay, that in the last 10 years, the Bears have only beaten the Packers 3 times. One of them was in a game that didn't matter, and the other 2 was like Thanksgiving, and it was like in the middle of the season. So with that being said, I'm taking the Packers. I'm going to take them at -2.5 alternate point spread, though. I don't like the -6.5. The total's 44.5. I'm going to go under on that.
I agree. Yeah.
Next game, we got the Rams favored by -8.5 versus the Cardinals. No, thank you. I'm going to take the alternate point spread for -2.5 on the Rams just because it's a divisional game and the Rams get weird like that. The total's 48.5. I'm going to go over.
You're going to go over?
Yeah, they're
No.
chucking that ball, brother.
No, I'm going to stay under.
Okay. Next game, we got Houston versus Kansas City. Kansas City is favored by -3.5. Only because it's in Chiefs Kingdom, I'm going to take the Chiefs at -2.5 on the alternate point spread. The total's 41.5. I'm going under.
Yes. Yeah. I'll agree.
Okay, that was Sunday night. So Monday night, we have the Eagles versus the Chargers. The Eagles are favored by only 3 in Los Angeles. I mean, it's really the Rams Stadium. It's not really the Charger Stadium. They just kind of play there. Just call a spade at this point. I think I like Philly at -2.5, so just lower that alternate point spread just by half a point there, just because it can get weird. The total's 40.5. I'm going under, and I will say this: the reason why is because it's a Jim Harbaugh defense, so it could get a little dicey, get a little tight in the score there. But if Herbert's hurt, I don't think they're going to win that game. So
Yeah.
okay. So now that we have our football bets done, we're gonna get into some hot takes here, and for the first time I think ever, X is gonna give his hot take first. So X, go ahead and shoot us with your hot take.
Hot take. Is it time to bench Lamar Jackson?
Yes, if you can, yes.
Oh,
For the love of God, please.
So
Please.
then, if that's going to be your take, is it time to drop Lamar Jackson?
Unfortunately, in a lot of leagues, he's undroppable, depending on where you drafted him. And where I drafted him at, you cannot drop him. So, yeah, kind of stuck with him.
See,
I wanna
I'm
say
in a
he's
weird
droppable.
spot because I agree with you, but I do think that you start him. I don't think you bench him because you drafted him so high. We go over this almost every single year
Yeah,
where
but
you draft somebody
understand.
high because they're supposed to be producing.
What about Justin Jefferson? People grabbed him in the first 2 rounds. Do you still start him? No.
You run him, dude. You run him.
No, you don't. You can't.
You have to.
Dude, I got Drake May off the bench in our mock league, and he's in, like, with the top 3 quarterback in fantasy football right now. You're gonna
But
tell
see,
me I'm gonna
that's
start Lamar
different.
Jackson over Drake May, though? No. You only start him if you have no other options. Like, I have no other options. I literally have no quarterbacks on my roster. I'm not starting Tyler Shuck over him, so I'm running with Lamar. But if you have a
But see,
Joe
then
Burrow or
if
you have,
that's
like, one of
going
these
to be the
guys, then
case, if that's going to be the case, then you got to drop Lamar. Open
I can't drop
up
him.
another spot.
It doesn't work. It says undroppable because of when I drafted him too high. So I can't drop him. It sucks. I'm in a shitty spot where I can't drop him. He's just sitting
That's
there.
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
Well,
yeah,
that's life.
that's my take. I think if you have him and you're going to the playoffs and you have a shot, if you have a better quarterback for this week, play that quarterback and see if Lamar can get it figured out. So if he gets it figured out next week's playoffs, hey, you can happily start him and not have any worries about it. That's my thought.
That's fair.
All right. So I got a lot of hot takes here. A lot of more questions. We call them hot takes, but it's more questions, discussions. So since we're talking about Lamar, with Lamar playing so bad, can the Steelers win that division? Make playoffs? What do you think?
I think they have a chance, but I think the Steelers were getting their own way. I don't think they'll
Mm.
make it, but I I don't know, dude. They'll get in their own way somehow, some way.
I
Or if
think
they do, it's like one and done, not even a game type
well,
deal.
no, I mean, I don't think the Steelers are gonna go very far. I mean, let's not get crazy
Yeah.
now. I think they can. I mean, it's more of like, can they make the playoffs? Just strictly make it.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, but if they don't, then it's 100% all on them. They got in their own way, and I wouldn't be surprised. That's
So
where
with
I'm
me, I
at.
think this game is really going to see if Lamar can't get on track. Like one of my buddies, he's a big time Ravens fan. He was like, "Well, we're still winning games." This is before they lost to the Bengals. He goes, "Well, we're still winning
Mhm.
games, and Lamar doesn't have to do anything." And then after the Cincinnati game, I sent him the eyes emoji, looking to the side. I'm like, "Well, that kind of didn't work out well because you need Lamar to win those games. When a team that's 3 and something, 4 and something is beating you guys, it's like, okay, now in your division too. It's like, okay, what are you guys going to do?" Like, there's
Yeah.
definitely some red flags going off in my head. And, you know, just like the Steelers, the Ravens can be their own worst enemy too, especially with that Swiss cheese defense. And if they don't have the offensive production and if they're just stopping Derrick Henry, then what are they going to do? That's my thoughts, at least. So,
Eh, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird situation. This year is just weird. I feel like I know football, but this year, I don't know.
it's a lot of
I
luck and a
just
lot of
gotta
injuries that
question
play a
it,
role.
dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Uh, okay. So do you see a world where the Eagles lose 2 more games and the Cowboys win the division? So the Cowboys need to win out. So the Eagles' next opponents are the Chargers, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Bills, and the Commanders. Do you see them losing 2 games in that? The only games I can see them possibly losing, which is Chargers, but Herbert's hurt, and the
I
Bills. I
don't
mean,
see
I
them
think they can lose
losing.
one, maybe. They're beating
If
the
they were going
Commanders.
to take the loss, then I don't know, it could be the Commanders. You
I
said
don't
they
think
play the
so.
Bills, right?
Play the Bills, week 17.
That that will that to me would surely be their loss, but they could also lose to the Commanders. Uh, I mean, anything's possible, to be honest, but I highly doubt it.
You want to know the Cowboys schedule?
Yeah, let's go.
So the Cowboys schedule is Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants.
One more time.
Lions this week, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants.
That's an easier schedule.
Well, if they lose to the Lions, they're done. In my opinion,
Yeah,
they're done.
yeah.
They can beat the Vikings, the Chargers. Depends what kind of Herbert shows up and how healthy that team can get in the next couple weeks. And then Commanders and Giants, I think they can beat them. Giants can be weird though. Giants could be spoilers. They get weird like that. So, all right. That's just my thought. I just think that I don't think the Cowboys have a shot. Personally, I think
No, probably not.
that's
Probably
still
not.
too late for them.
Yeah.
So I kind of talked about this a little bit. I just want to get your thoughts. So in the last 10 years, the Bears have only beat the Packers 3 times. Do you think
Okay.
the Packers can sweep the Bears the next? They play them 2 times in the next 3 weeks.
No.
Do you think they can sweep them? And then you think they
Nope.
can win the NFC North? And what is your
Nope.
prediction on that? No, you don't think so?
Uh, no, I don't think they can. They're definitely not going to sweep the Bears. They might get one win at best, but the Bears are playing very sound football right now. They're playing very consistent football. Uh,
Hmm.
they're like weirdly flying underneath the radar to where nobody's paying any attention to them, and they're just dominating everybody. So I don't see Green Bay has too many problems to where I don't see them doing it.
Okay. Well, you want my hot take? This is
Who is
hot.
this being fueled by? Is this you?
No, this is on me. I have not spoke
Okay.
to her about this. Yeah, my wife does
Okay.
not know I'm about to say this. She's gonna be happy I do because I usually shit on the Packers. The Packers own the Bears, dude. Ever since Aaron Rodgers, it's always been a thing. Okay, it's not a surprise, and I think the Packers sweep the Bears 2 of the next 3 weeks. They're gonna beat them at home this week, and they're gonna beat them away next 2 weeks from now.
No.
Yes,
That is a hot take, I will say,
The
but
Packers are a
no.
better team than the Bears. I honestly do believe that. I truly do. I think the Bears
Yeah.
can get there in the next year or two. I don't think I think they're going to be a team that's going to play someone bad in the match in the playoffs and get eliminated. Because someone like the Niners can beat them, and the Niners are not good this year at all, in my opinion. This is truly how I feel. So that's hot. That's hot.
Well, we'll see how that plays out, but I'm not holding my breath on that at all.
We'll see. I think they can sweep the Bears this year. So we'll see though. What's going on with the Vikings? And should JJ, as in Justin Jefferson, request to be traded in the offseason?
So it's obviously a quarterback problem, which they now know, whether they want to admit it or not. It's a quarterback problem. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. We all know it's a quarterback problem. I think Justin Jefferson is loyal to a fault. He will stay. He's not going to request a trade. If he does, if he for some reason requests a trade, I want, no question in my mind, I want the Chiefs and I want the Bills to give away the freaking house for that dude. 100%.
Well, they would need to.
100%. And you would be rightful to do it because that would propel them so high. But I don't think that Justin Jefferson does it. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings would even accept the trade, no matter how good it was. You know, he truly is, you know, everybody wanted to say this about Travis Hunter. You know, we saw how great that worked out. Justin Jefferson truly is a number one and a generational talent. So there's no way. He'll stay right where he needs to be.
Next, is it a little too late for the Bengals to make the playoffs? So they currently have a 2% shot. There's a shot, okay? 2%. They have to play the Bills, the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Browns.
No. Their defense is too bad.
Bro, and they can beat the Bills. It's a shot in the dark. Don't get me wrong. But we didn't think they can beat the Ravens, and they just did. And they play them again. So
the Ravens are shit. No.
The Bills are shit away.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. There's no way. No way.
Right.
Next question.
I like giving him a shot. I'm going to give him a shot because I like Joe Burrow. All right, next question. The Colts have lost 3 of their last 4 games. They played the Jaguars, the Seahawks, the Niners, the Jaguars, and the Texans. So, do they miss the playoffs with the Texans winning the division? The Texans play the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Colts.
I think it's a possibility for them too. I don't know why they're playing weird. Daniel Jones is starting to crap the bed all of a sudden. It's kind of weird. It's a weird situation.
It's almost like Quinton Johnson, right?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility, dude. If he was playing this whole time on a fractured leg or whatever the case may be, they didn't put it out until now. There's a reason why teams don't do that. They put him out. They make those comments because now it's actually starting to affect them. So, to me, I think if anybody's going to win the division, it's actually Jacksonville. I think that's who will do it. Jacksonville is actually kind of sneaking in quite a bit. They have like 7 wins. So, Jacksonville's not actually doing all that bad. But as far as the Colts go, I don't think that the Colts, I had high hopes, but Sauce Gardner got injured. I mean, at this point, yeah.
So the Jacksonville Jaguars play the Colts, they play the Jets, they play the Broncos, they play the Colts again, and they play the Titans.
Tell me how Jacksonville can't squeak in with that easy-ass schedule.
Well, they'd have to beat the Colts twice, and they have to beat the Broncos, who is a weird team.
It's possible. Titans are still a division game for them, too.
That's true. The Jacksonville is currently, well, they're currently in the league. They are currently the AFC South winner.
There you go.
Head. Yeah.
Yep.
I just thought maybe the Colts might come back. Well, they'd have to go through the Niners. So we'll see. And
I
the
wish
Seahawks,
they would.
That's tough.
I wish they would, but I don't think they will. I was really high on them. Sauce Gardner got injured. Daniel Jones looks like crap. Coaching problems are now being a thing. So no.
Well, this actually segues pretty well into this next question, which is who's the best or who is the worst? Okay, this is going to be kind of a tongue twister here. Who is the worst, best team in the AFC right now? So the people that are in the playoffs, who is the worst, best team of right there?
Colts.
You think it's the
Colts.
Colts?
Yep.
I think it's the Broncos.
That's fair.
Broncos
That's
are
fair.
10-2. They lost. They beat the Washington by 1 point last week in overtime. They have a very favorable schedule this year. They play some bummy teams besides the
I
Chiefs.
would say I would say Colts at number 1, Denver at number 2, New England at number 3.
Ooh, they had an easy schedule too. I will say that.
Very easy schedule.
Yeah. Well, what about the NFC? Who's the worst, best team in the NFC currently?
Um, honestly, Detroit.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think
Why is
so.
that?
I think I think their offense is really good, but their defense is a problem.
Hmm.
Their defense isn't as good. They're getting overhyped. That defense is getting overhyped, in my opinion. I don't
So
think they're like super bad. Like I wouldn't put them like Titans bad by any means. I would put them like maybe Cincinnati bad.
I don't know if I'd put them that low. That's pretty low. Their
I
defense is
would.
better than that.
I would.
I mean, so I get what you're saying. Well, Lions are ranked 8 right now, so they're not even in the playoffs currently. For
You're never gonna get
me,
there.
I don't think so. But for me, I think it's the Bucks. It'd be the Bucks. And the reason for
I
that, even though they beat the Niners,
I
which
was
the Niners
actually
is
going
on
to
that
say
list
that,
too.
but they're coming back healthy now. So
They are, but Mike Evans is done. Okay.
yeah.
And even if he comes back in the playoffs, what kind of Mike Evans are we even getting? And then
Yeah, that's fair.
Baker has the AC joint sprain. And I believe that's on his throwing arm too. So that is what made them explosive and good was his throwing ability. So he can game manage some of these tight, close, easy games. Arizona, it was way closer than it should have been on the team that's not in the playoffs. I just get worried that, you know, they have to play, Carolina can come back and win that division. I think Carolina is a better suited team for the playoffs than the Bucks are right now. So just something to think
Hmm.
about. Yeah. All right. Next, I got a couple more here. So the Bills won last week, but Josh Allen didn't look good. It was kind of the James Cook show. Are we still concerned with the Bills playing away? So their next games, they have the Bengals at home, they have the Patriots and the Browns away, they have the Eagles and the Jets at home. You're not concerned about it?
I'm always concerned about Buffalo's defense, to be honest, and the lack of ability on their offense. The Bills are a weirdly good team, but it's to me, it's a toss up every single week with the Bills. And that's the part that kind of throws me off.
So I like them home. I don't know if they can beat the Eagles though. I know that's a weird thing to say because the Eagles have been up and down.
Yeah.
I don't think they can beat the Eagles. I think they lose to the Patriots away. I don't think they can beat the Patriots at home.
That'll
Like
be a good test of the
for how good
Patriots to
Patriots
see if
are.
they are
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I just think Josh has a really hard problem and that offense has a hard time playing away. And it doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
I don't
It's
know.
just if you look through this year, it's just they're having a really rough go at it. And
Yeah.
right now they're ranked 7. Like they're number 7 in the hunt. So they make playoffs if it ended today, but you have the Texans right there, you have the Steelers right there, and you have the Chiefs right there. So they can't really afford any more losses. But I mean, I think if the Bengals beat them this week, which I don't think happens, but if they do, I think it's going to get real interesting down the stretch here because I think the Patriots can beat them at home, in New England's home, and I think the Eagles can beat them at Buffalo's home. So that would be 3 losses that would put them. Was that 12 and or 11 and no 10-7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
Mm,
that's enough to make the playoffs for them. But anyways,
I don't know.
just something to think about. I'm always concerned about it because I don't know. I don't think they're a Super Bowl caliber team this year.
No.
Anyways, so
No.
um, you kind of already answered this, but I was going to ask you if the Lions are going to miss the playoffs. You said no. So if
I
the
don't think they
answer is
will.
no, who is not going to make playoffs?
Like, what do you mean?
So currently it's the Bears, the Rams, the Eagles, the Bucks. That's the division winner, so they're not going anywhere. Obviously, that could change a little bit, but then you got the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Niners. So the current odds for the Lions to make playoffs right now is 43%.
Seahawks will make it. I think it'll be either Packers or Niners who don't. I'm leaning more towards Niners though. Who won't?
See, I think Packers win that division, and I think that tie ends up helping them. And I don't think the Lions make it, man.
I think they do because I think Purdy screws you guys.
I mean, I agree, but I think we have such an easy schedule. I'm not worried about it.
It's
My
also
only
fair.
concerning game is the Colts, and if they're hurt, Purdy's through against a team that I think has a better defense than the Colts do.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
We'll
and
see.
yeah, I have concerns about Purdy too. But for sure, I will say this: the Niners are a one and done team in the playoffs unless they get a really good matchup. I don't see them beating the Rams or the Eagles, so they could beat the Packers. So, did the Rams get exposed last week against Carolina? I mean, did their secondary get exposed? Actually, I guess we should say, bro, they got slung on by a quarterback who hasn't really done so well since he's in there.
I'm gonna say no.
Could you explain? Would you like to elaborate on that?
I'm gonna say no because it's weird because normally the the Rams don't score very quickly, and they were scoring kind of quick, in my opinion, against Carolina. They were having a lot of big plays back to back to back to back, and then next thing you know, they're in the end zone. Um, and two, at the same time, sometimes it's just a coaching issue where the other coach just outcoaches, and sometimes that happens. And sometimes it's just game plans that get figured out really quickly, and the other team just has a great game plan against it. So, I like the Rams coaching staff, but sometimes you just get beat, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think they did. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit of the fan talking as well, but just looking at the game where you have a team like the 49ers, who I will continue to say they're not very good, their defense is banged up. They were able to hold Carolina to 9 points and then, or 8 points, whatever it was. And then you go and play the Rams, who I still think has a way better defense and offense than the 49ers do. And
Mhm.
Carolina was able to beat them. I mean, granted, it was close, but the Rams are better than that. And I don't know. I just think for me, it shows that they have some missing links or some weak links, I should say, in the backfield or in the secondary. And it's just something to monitor. I think any team that's going to play against them probably is going to do what the Panthers did and just throw and see what happens. Because I
I
think at this
think
point,
you're I think you're just your expectations of the Rams and how they should be are like kind of high.
high, yeah, they are
Yeah,
high because I think they should be a Super Bowl favorite team this year. In my
they
personal
should.
opinion, I said that since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So I do have high expectations for them. Just like if the Niners was healthy, I'd have it for the Niners too, but we're not. So,
Yeah.
but speaking of the Niners, it's a good segue into asking you my next question. The 49ers prove that they can handle good defenses with their offense this last weekend in Cleveland, who Cleveland does have a
I
really good defense, both
I don't think
all
so.
three areas of the defensive, like the defensive line is very good, probably one of the best. You have a very good linebacking core. The rookie who's probably going to win rookie of the year for defense. He had like, I forget, it's like he had the highest rookie tackles of any linebacker this year. And then their secondary is very good too.
I mean, I see the question you're asking, but at the same time, I'm I'm going to say yes and no. I'm going to say
Hmm.
yes. So, I'm going to say yes and no because it depends on what Purdy shows up. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
It's all reliant on Purdy. Christian McCaffrey is pretty consistent as long as he doesn't get injured. He's pretty consistent, but it all comes down to Purdy, whether Purdy makes dumb decisions or not. It's as simple as that.
Well, it really comes down to if Kyle Shanahan's going to let him throw more than 15 yards. All through those interceptions 2 weeks ago were over 15 yards. And the Niners still won that game. I just want to point that out. And I'm not a Brock Purdy guy. You know that.
You got to adjust. You got to adjust. And that might be the case. That might be the case. I don't know.
I think playing the Colts will kind of show that too, because that'll be the last really good defense we have to play. We play Seattle at the end of the season, but I don't know if that game's even going to matter. So they might not even play their starters, and we might not even either if we already have it locked up, unless we really want to be in a certain position based on matchup. That's the only thing I can think of as to why either one of those teams would want to play. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, all right, I got three more for you. So the Titans and the Browns play this weekend. Is this the worst game of the year?
Might be. Might be.
Yeah. You think it's going to be
I
the
think
lowest
so.
scoring game of the year, or you think it's just going to be just
I don't think
bad
it's going to be a
football?
low scoring game. I think it'll be a normal game. I think it'll be fine. It's definitely not going to be a high scoring game for sure. But
Well,
um, I think, in all honesty, it's 100% the worst game of the year. Yes. Yes.
so it's not only is it the worst game of the week, it's the worst game it's the boo-boo game of the year. That's what you're going to
Yep.
call it?
Yep.
Okay. I had nothing else to add. I'm glad with your answer. I'm satisfied with your answer on that one. So of course, every week we got to talk about your favorite player in the NFL now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here we go. This is for the boy H who can't be on today. So we've had 2 games of Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
Okay. He hasn't played very great. Well, that's a lie. We've had 3 games of Shedeur Sanders. 2 of those games he started. He hasn't
Oh,
played
yeah.
great, but he also hasn't played bad, in my personal opinion. So the question is more, is it just an offensive scheme? Is it Kevin Stefanski? Because personally, I think he's been playing better than Gabriel, but I've told you that privately. But he's still not playing good. And I've noticed like this trend with the quarterbacks all this year, even Joe Flacco when he was there. They're throwing for about 200 yards ish. It's not very high, but it's not great. So that kind of, for me, it's almost like, Lenny, is that an offensive scheme issue? Is that them just wanting to run the ball more? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
So, in my opinion, I think that Shedeur Sanders, I don't think it's a scheme issue. I think the scheme is actually playing to Shedeur Sanders' strengths,
Hmm.
which is short passes. He's a short pass king. But it's also them, in my opinion, showing that lack of faith in him, in his abilities, because I think they're realistic about it. I don't think he's the next coming of Joe Montana. I don't think anybody does. I don't think he's even the next coming of Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's the next coming of Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's the next coming of Jacoby Brissett. He is
Oh, that's
not.
wild.
No, he's not as good as everybody's making him out to be. And at the end of the day, that scheme is benefiting his strong suits, which is does little dink passes. It's as simple as that.
So,
And
so do you think they
go ahead.
stick with him next year? Or do you think they go out and get another quarterback? I mean, Mendoza might be available. I don't think the Titans are going to grab him.
No, they're not going to grab another quarterback. They're going to stick
You don't
with
think
Ben
so?
and Gabriel. Yeah,
Dylan Gabriel. That's your prediction. They're going to stick with Dylan Gabriel.
they're going to stick with Shedeur and Gabriel.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Yeah,
was like, that's wild. I was like, they
because
technically benched him.
I watched the game, and it inaccurate. He's still a rookie. Like, at the end of the day, he's showing rookie problems. He's still showing rookie problems. You know, I don't think he's as good as everybody talks about, like, by any means, but at the end of the day, he's still showing rookie problems. So I don't I don't think the offense coordinator is the problem. I just think Shedeur needs to grow up in the game and off of the game. All in all, Shedeur Sanders, to me, that dude, it he just needs to figure it out. Like, at the end of the day, he needs to figure it out. He's not playing good. I, like, everybody wants to make excuses. I'm not expecting him to play great. I'm expecting him to show some type of quarterback, a game manager, a pocket quarterback, a scrambler, something. He's not showing anything. He's not falling into any identity at all. Like, he's not even trying. Like, I don't even know what he's doing. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. That's like if you grab some random guy out of the stands and put him in a quarterback position, that dude's not going to know what he's doing. That's kind of what Shedeur looks like he's doing. He looks so confused, like he doesn't know what's happening. Like 100%.
I think had more poise this week because I think there was a whole incident. You can look it up later, but Jerry Judy and him were or Jerry Judy was getting into it with him, and he remained calm the entire time. Jerry Judy's a whole nother case, and we could probably have a whole
That,
episode about that. Steve Smith called him out
but
a long time ago, but
right, I remember that. But the thing
it's
about that though is that's still an ego thing.
well, I think we're gonna find out by the end of the season, and I think for sure by the draft what's gonna happen with him. I think if Cleveland doesn't want to stick with him, they'll go and draft another quarterback. So
I think he's learning. He's figuring it out because even in the media, he had a chance to throw his coaching staff underneath the bus, but he didn't. That was surprising. I was genuinely happy to see it. I wish this kid would do well, but he just needs to grow up. And so I feel like he's making strides. So that's a
well,
start.
we got a couple months until a few months, and the end of the season's going to be here, and then we're going to see. I think the draft's going to tell a lot of people what's going to happen with him, and if they don't go get a quarterback, I think he's going to be the starter, and we have to see what pieces are going to put around him. So, H will be on in a couple weeks probably to come say his case about Shedeur, but I think everyone else has their own opinion about him. But the last thing I want to talk about is going to be a rapid fire. So we're going to go through each division, and I just want you to say off the top of your head who you think is going to win. We're not going to explain it. We're just going to go, this is what I think. All right, AFC East. You got Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, Jets.
Patriots.
So next we got AFC North. We got Baltimore, Steelers, Bengals, Browns.
Steelers.
Ooh. AFC South, Jaguars, Colts, Texans, Titans.
Jaguars.
Oh, mind you, I should probably be commenting on these. I'll let you do the AFC and we'll do them next together. AFC West, we got Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders.
Broncos.
Okay. AFC East, I got Patriots, I got Steelers, I got I got Jags, and I got Broncos. Okay. NFC East, we got Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants.
Eagles.
Next, we got NFC North, Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings.
Bears.
NFC South, we got Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, Saints.
Bucks.
Then we got NFC West, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals.
Rams.
And I did it again. I didn't respond. So I got Eagles, I got Packers, I got Panthers. And I do, yeah. And I got San Francisco. Give me San Francisco. There's a shot. Give me San Francisco. It's probably going to be Rams, though. From my boys, it's probably going to be Rams. Bebel, don't get mad. It's going to be the Rams, okay? Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And as a reminder, you can join our membership program. It's 99 cents until February. So once the Super Bowl is done, it's going to be over. You can check out all of our shorts early, our episodes early. You can get into our Discord for one-on-one fantasy advice, for betting advice, and just to have a place to talk to us and grow our community. Also, Fantasy Royale is the bounty, $1,000 bounty is still live for week 14. It takes literally 30 seconds to do. You pick the teams, set amount of yards, total points. It's very simple to do, honestly. Like, as long as you're over the age of 18, you can play, as far as what I remember. But you get all the games right, you win $1,000. So definitely go check that out. The link is in our description there. And if you're interested in merch, you can also hit us up, and you can go to everything is here in the description here. We got our links to our merch, links to our website, links to everything we have going on. You can check us out on all our social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. And you can watch this on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or you can just simply go to our website, www.encinas.com. Everything we have going on is directly there, and you can click the links there. Thanks for sticking around, and until next time, everybody, peace.
Later.